For restaurants looking for a leg up, crowdfunding can be a cash cow, but it can also sometimes be a lightning rod, leading to public scrutiny and risking backlash. That's something Katie Tower knows all too well. She's a co-owner of the small food and cocktail bar Field Guide, but until recently, she was also one of the owners and operators at Fawn Restaurant.
The food was modern American cuisine, French, Italian influences.
Fawn opened in December of 2022 after a build that took twice as long and cost twice as much as planned. Still struggling by the fall of 2024, the owners felt they had no choice but to ask for help.
We were trying to problem solve for our cash flow issues and all the things we were facing, and this is something that we had talked about so many times that it just felt like, okay, well, we have to turn over every possible stone because that's our job.
Fawn asked patrons to buy gift cards in advance. Privately, it was a success, raising approximately $65,000 for the business. But publicly, the owners faced plenty of criticism online, which only grew when they had to shut down the business in April, even though the gift cards are still valid at Field Guide.
It was one of my kind of first experiences with that sort of like tall poppy thing, where the higher your head sticks out of the bushes, the more likely it is that, people are going to notice and have something to say about it.
Fawn is one of a number of Nova Scotia businesses that have turned to crowdfunding in the past few years, including the Narrows and the Canteen. Larry's Sandwiches opened in Dartmouth this week after a successful Kickstarter campaign.
I would rather we owe sandwiches to our friends and neighbors than owe interest to the bank.
Backers were given the option to fund the business in exchange for rewards, including merch, dinners, and sandwiches. For Larry's, the campaign was a way to raise extra money and get people excited about what they were offering.
I understand that feeling people get about crowdfunding and Kickstarters where they feel like they're just giving money to a business for nothing. And that's something that I specifically really thought about when we were making the goals, so that it was a reward. It was like a thank you for supporting us early.
According to the Restaurant Association of Nova Scotia, crowdfunding still isn't especially common in the province, but there are some things businesses should consider.
Some of those pros would be, it's not your traditional loan process where you're doing like applications and getting credit checks. It's funding that you can get a bit quicker. It's also not necessarily funding that you need to pay back. And the other thing too with a crowdfunding campaign is it doubles a bit as a marketing campaign. So there's some engagement there for the business.
But there are negatives.
Your reputation is on the line, especially if your expected goals are not met and it's not successful.
As the all-female ownership team at Fawn learned, this criticism can sometimes be harsh and personal. Tower says for women, it can be even more pointed.
It seems to me like they just didn't like that we were bold enough and brave enough to ask for help. And that's a reflection of the person, not of the rightness or wrongness of what we were doing.
She hopes next time others realize there are actually people behind a business and that criticism is fair game, but personal attacks aren't. Andrew Sampson, CBC News, Halifax.